Hey Tam, how are you?
Hi. Hi, Dr. Gilbert. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am just so excited to see you. It's been a while since I've
It's
seen you. I know
it's been a very long time.
we exchange over, social media or text or whatever, but to literally, even though it's virtual, to see your face is such a wonderful, wonderful, pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's good to see your face too.
Well, you've been out doing things and you've been, creating change in the world. And you also, through the work you do, you help other people. So I want you to take a moment and just kind of share about what it is that you do as a change maker to change the lives of other people with your work. So,
So, I am an attorney in DC, and so far in doing the work that I do, I'm able to help people in several different ways. Just helping them like organize matters that they might have that are legal. Sometimes it's just um, like personal issues in general that I'm able to like advise them on or give them advice on.
mhm.
But more importantly, help them get justice when it's needed, whether that be a civil suit against someone where they should have damages for, um, something that happened against them, but
Mhm.
or and more importantly, help inmates who have been incarcerated get out of jail. So it's really just helping out in every way that I can legally and in any other business matter way.
So when you speak of helping inmates that have been incarcerated, so then you also are working with some criminal law. Are you working like as a public defender,
Yes.
or is that what you do?
So I started a firm with my partner. So we started a firm, a private firm, but we do have a public interest division where we give back to the community for those who can't afford it. Like if they can't afford legal services, then we will help them if they qualify. I practice criminal defense and real estate. My partner practices family law and civil, and we have another associate. She practices estates and business formation.
Oh, great. And those are so many things that are needed. And I'm glad that you all are doing something in addition to criminal law, because every time folks think about law, they're thinking about criminal law, even though that's needed as well. Like you say, you work with folks that's
Exactly.
incarcerated, that in your public division that can't afford a lawyer. So that your
Hmm.
services are greatly needed. And I know you are such a
Hmm.
phenomenal person that
Thank you so
you're
much.
giving and doing your very best that you can to help
Thank you.
those folks. But in the
Hmm.
other areas that you all are changing lives in is really important, because those are areas in our Black and brown communities that a lot of times we don't even focus on, to know that legal issues come about, that you
Right.
will need some type of legal representation. We kind of,
Hmm.
in those other areas you spoke of, we kind of let the chips fall where they may. And
Right.
we need to learn not to do that. So
Hmm.
thank you so much for having the foresight to embrace that type of law in your work. So
Thank you. Thank you so
uh,
much.
I created this platform, Critical Conversations, also as a way to give back to the community, as a way to include the community, as a place to have safe conversations about various concerns that come up. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, and what walk you are on your journey, we all have been impacted by something. And our stories are not told. When we hold on to information, we kind of suppress things inside of us and we hold on to them. And when you hold on to things and they're unexpressed, they become exploded, they implode upon us. And then it feels like we don't have control over situations in our lives. So, Critical Conversation is a platform that's a safe space to have these conversations. So this year, 2020 has been such a challenging and rewarding year for most of us. And
Hmm.
with that said, I'm asking folks to kind of reflect, just kind of reflect on 2020, kind of think back. And so I ask you, what has been your most significant challenge that you might be willing to share? What has been one of your notable rewards that you've had in 2020? And how has that challenge and that reward add value to your life moving forward in 2020? So if you don't mind sharing that.
Yeah, um I think one of the challenges for for me is, you know, having so much time and not being able to go anywhere and just sitting still and not being around a bunch of people. It it forced me to think about, like, all of my issues, all of my problems,
Mm-hmm,
forced me to think about myself. It just forced me to do a lot of
mm-hmm,
foresight and thinking. And so that was a challenge because I had to I had to really face some things that I might not have been ready to face, but it was also rewarding because I had the time to face them.
mm-hmm,
So I had the time, but then it was challenging to have to face these things, but it was kind of perfect timing because I had the time to do it. But it was rough at first because I didn't realize it's like things came up for me in my personal life, because now, rather than being busy with work or running around, I mean, you still have work, but rather than having to run around to all these different places, I was able to really sit and reflect. And things came up that I realized I needed to work on about myself or fix about myself and my relationships. And so that was a challenge in, like, really sitting and saying, wow, I need to fix this. And this is, you know, this is an issue. And so it was rewarding that I was able to really focus in on that. And, you
mm-hmm.
know, everything is like a work in progress. So I'm still, you know, working on these things, yet I'm really grateful for the time, because had this time not happened, I might have been, like, still, like, running around, never having that extra time to reflect. So
Absolutely. So, what I'm hearing you say, your rewards and your challenges have been kind of one and the same. Your challenge was time set still. And now, what do I do? How do I refocus? How do I regroup life? And then the reward was, well, thank you for the time. Now I get to focus on how I sit still, how
right.
do I regroup, and I can't hide behind being busy to not give attention to other areas of my life, like my relationships.
Hmm.
There's always things that don't seem as important as other things. And what this has happened with COVID, um, it has caused us all to have to be still. And I
Right.
say, through these conversations I've found seem like the greatest impact for most folks in 2020 has been the results of COVID, I guess, because it's came and is still here months and months
Hmm.
later. But this year has been really full. We've had racial and political tensions that was
So many.
going on, and
Hmm.
the economy, just kind of falling. And
Yeah.
I'm not just speaking here in the United States or in Los Angeles. I'm talking about just globally. I mean, racial
Right.
tensions and everything globally.
It's
And
definitely been a whole world shift,
mm-hmm,
whole change in how we live.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And just based in that, you can't like erase it and say, oh, well, these things didn't occur. And so we're going to, as soon as COVID stopped, then we're going to just erase all of those other things and just go back to life as it's been. And
Right.
since we know that can't occur, is there any kind of advice or thoughts or anything that you could share with any of the viewers here that would say, in addition to what COVID gave us, the gifts that we received of stillness and thought and reflection, what other kind of things can we just take our entire challenge of 2020 and add value to life in 2021?
One message that really resonated for me this year was just self love. And so I was, like, really delving into self love and figuring out exactly what that is. What do you do? And what does it mean? And in doing that, I feel like I understood my value more, or I value myself more. And
Mhm.
so one thing also with 2020 and so many people dying, I realized like life is short and you should live it to the fullest. So I started saying, like, I started erasing doubt and building my confidence and realizing that like anybody could be gone next week. So why have so much stress? Why worry about all these different things? Like instead, I started to live day to day. That's one thing I put in place. So I look at each day as a life. So I'm born in the morning, I have my life, and then I die at night. So that way I can just live my life to the fullest and not be having not have so many worries or stresses and thinking about this or that. And it's been good, as well as, so the advice I would give is live your life to the fullest, know your value, stop having doubts, because we're all different. And so once you realize that, don't doubt yourself because you are who you are for a reason, then life will get better and the things that you want will come into place by you just being more positive and loving yourself.
Absolutely. I think I need to adopt that frame. I like that. You say, when I wake up, I'm born. It's a new day, it's a new horizon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wake up, I'm born. And then I live that entire day in that day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go to sleep, it's just like going to sleep. It's almost like dying because the lights went
Yeah.
out on that day. That day is
Mm-hmm.
gone. And when you
Yeah.
die, that's what happened. Life is gone. So the life of that day is gone until you
Yeah.
rise again. And if people could find some type of solace in any of those kind of things, we get to start now creating our own lives and creating our own meaning. And I heard somewhere where it says, live as if today was your last day, and that's
Right.
what you're saying. But
Mm-hmm.
plan as if you're gonna live tomorrow, live forever tomorrow. And you're saying that, and you saying loving yourself, then that's like, okay, I'm gonna live forever, so I have to love me, you know. So I want to thank you for that input. Thank you for sharing. And if folks
Thank
want to
you.
get in touch with you or use your services, how can they find you?
They can go to maxwelljoneslaw.com. So it's Maxwell Jones Law, or they can call us at 202-559-8594. 202-559-8594, or reach us on Instagram at Maxwell Jones Law and Facebook.
All right. Again, thank you so, so much
Thank
for
you, Tanya.
being
Thank you
here.
for having me. It was nice chatting with you and very nice to see you as always.
Okay. And for those that are out here in the audience that don't know me, I am Dr. Tanya Gilbert. Thank you for listening to Critical Conversations. This is a safe
And
space for anything you want to talk about. I just want you to tell your story. You
and
can
not that this is a part of it. I just wanted to add in there that Tanya, Dr. Gilbert, you saved my life. And so for anybody watching, I just want them to know that she saved my life. Absolutely. So thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, I would not have all that I have, and I appreciate you so much.
Well, thank you for taking the lesson. See, I can teach, but if folks don't receive those lessons fall on deaf ears, and then folks kind of stay stuck where they are. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that's why these conversations are really important, because it's history. History repeats itself if you don't learn anything. So, in what
Right.
I do and what I'm doing and what I'm creating, I want to create history lessons, and we get history lessons through telling our stories. And so anyone that want to participate and tell their story or participate in critical conversations, you can find me on all social media platforms as Dr. Tanya Gilbert. You can also go to my website at drtanyagilbert.com and fill out the contact form. I do respond to each person personally, and we'll get you here on deck, on board, and we can talk. You can also find me on Instagram, and you can see all of my interviews and all of my talks and my podcasts, everything on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you in the room. And don't forget to go to Instagram to my Ask Auntie column. You can ask me any question. Just be willing and waiting for the answer because I have an answer for you. Talk to you later.